Harry, how are you?
Hi, Caesar. Well, I'm well. I was listening to one of your Buddha at the gas pump interviews
Oh,
from ages ago.
yeah.
Um, I think I'm not too sure if you did more than one or.
No, only once. They didn't call me again for another one.
Oh, okay. And he was mentioning, the interviewer was mentioning something like doing these sessions or something to open up and clear trauma and that kind of thing. And you mentioned that you gave an analogy where you said something like uh, all of this trauma is like demons inside of a nightclub, and your ego is like the bouncer at the doors of the nightclub, keeping the demons inside the nightclub. So it's actually your ego
Did I
that's
say that?
holding something like that.
I don't. Can you say repeat what I said because I don't recall that.
You said something like all of your trauma is like demons inside of a nightclub, and your ego are the bouncers at the doors of the nightclub, keeping the demons inside. So basically, your ego is keeping your trauma repressed. It's not
Tendencies.
allowing.
Tendencies. Trauma
Yeah, yeah,
mean trauma.
tendencies.
Trauma is an imprint in the mind,
Right. Okay.
and the trauma can be negative or positive. People think that trauma is only positive.
Or negative, you mean?
It's only negative. Sorry, it can be negative or positive.
Right. Okay.
So that means the tendencies, and the ego keeps the tendencies because the tendencies keeps the ego alive.
Right. Okay. So without the tendencies, there's no ego.
Without the tendencies, there is no ego.
Mm,
You can't separate the tendencies from the ego,
right.
and the ego from the tendencies. See,
Sure. It's all one and the same thing.
correct.
Mm. So when the tendencies don't have any power anymore, then that's pretty much the disillusionment of the ego.
Sorry, say that again.
When the tendencies don't have any power anymore,
Hmm.
that's the disillusionment of the ego.
The ego dissolved only when the
Yeah,
ego is pure enough, okay, from its negative tendencies and positive tendencies, it dissolves into its source. Remember that there is a indirect path where people begin to remove tendency by tendency. Obviously, they will go and remove the negative one first, but the positive
right,
has to be removed too.
right.
And then they leave the ego to be removed at the end. And in the
Mm,
meantime, more tendencies can grow.
right, okay.
Okay, imagine a tree. Okay, and the tree has branches here and there, right? Left and right. And I go
Uh-huh.
to the negative side, let's say the left side, and I remove
Hmm.
all the leaves, right, which represents the tendencies. Okay, fantastic, finish. That took me 3 years, 4 years, I don't know, whatever. Then I go
Yeah,
to the other side of the tree and begin to remove all the good tendencies, all the leaves. Ta 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 ta. It will take me two, three, four, five, whatever, right? When I
right.
look behind, all the leaves grow up on the other side again. So you will go
Yeah, sure.
side to side, removing leaves that doesn't come to an end ever. Now, if
Right.
you remove the root, okay, or if you remove the tree from the root, then the trunk The branches and the leaf will collapse all together, right?
Right.
Now, all what the people want to do by the means of efforts and practice and all that stuff, including purifying the mind, okay, happens by the means of inquiry. Inquiry compress in the inquiry, it is contain all the practices, right?
Right.
If I bring the mind into its source, the mind goes into its source with all the tendencies.
Mm.
And that begins to dissolve or to get dissolved in its source itself. All that begins to get dissolved in consciousness. Consciousness is like a acid, so to speak, that is going to dissolve all that.
Right.
Now, many people manage to merge the ego in the source, even for some time, for a long time, but it may not be destroyed. It may be still there in a latent state because the tendencies are not completely dissolved, and the tendencies will bring the ego back sooner or later, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the ego has to be carry on merging again and again back into its source, and never to chant victory. Who is going to chant victory about self-realization, right?
Mm.
Because
Right.
the self is already self-realized.
Right. So in that you mean don't become proud or egotistical if
Yes,
you get
correct,
some kind of awakening.
correct.
Mm. With that, I've met teachers that seem to have that kind of have had an awakening or seem to they say the term hold presence, and you can feel there's some energy there, but there's someone saying, "Oh, look at me! I'm an enlightened master."
No, Jesus Christ.
But at the same time, like if you are around them, you can feel some kind of energy presence, even though they're saying all of that. So what's that? So I mean, there's some clarity there. I don't know what words to use. There's some kind of energetic presence there, even though there's this.
There are some cases in some people where the ego may be absent for some time temporarily, and some power can express itself there.
Mm,
But if they believe that they are self-realized, forget about it.
yeah, right. So some kind of siddhis are apparent, but there's no self. Like it's not they're not fully realized.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
If somebody even if they don't exercise, see that consciously, they may even get
Sorry,
manifest.
say that again.
They can even get manifested. They see this spontaneously, right? And some Shakti, some power can be manifest itself and produce an impact, and the mind of the seekers keep quiet. But that necessarily doesn't mean that the ego is gone completely.
Mm,
Now,
right.
a wise man knows if the ego is fully gone in somebody, not because he knows how to do it. So the wise person will know it without knowing how to know it or how he knows it.
Right. So there'll just be some kind of instinct that can feel.
Correct.
Mm. With regards to what you're saying about the mind being pure, what do you mean by that?
Hmm?
When you say when the mind is pure, what do you mean by that?
It's a harmonious mind, a good mind. See, it's a positive tendencies, harmony, friendliness, kindness, uh, some kind of willing to service, to help, and all that stuff. It's kind of a unselfish mind, let's call it like that, but it still is mind. Hmm?
Right. Okay.
The mind can feel selfish or unselfish. Either wise, it
So
still is
it's a
mind. Yeah, because it still is me.
sattvic mind.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
When the mind is still merged in its source, then there is no expression of evilness or goodness, neither selfishness nor unselfishness. Nobody expresses any of it in deep sleep, right?
Right.
Now, awakened state, the mind came in deeper sleep, the mind is merged in its source, but it is unconscious. Hmm? It is sleeping. In the awakened state, the mind can be merged in its source and yet to remain awake. That's the whole point. Hmm?
Right.
So to keep the mind as still as in deep sleep but awake. In that state, the mind is not moving in any way, neither in a selfish way or unselfish way. When the mind is not moving, that means it is merged in its source. This is when it becomes obvious the presence of consciousness. And it becomes obvious that it is what we are, that consciousness, it is what we are.
Right.
So when the ego is gone, the wise man body keeps on acting, right?
Uh-huh.
But this action is due to a past momentum, right?
Okay.
It has nothing to do with the present. This is the meaning of the karma of the wise is getting exhausted spontaneously. So you cannot call that neither good nor bad. Not for the sage, it's neither good nor bad.
Right.
And to begin with, the sage doesn't identify himself with the body, so
Mm.
he's not concerned about neither the quantity or the quality of his activities.
It almost seems like the more I self-inquire, the stronger the tendencies want to be or want to play out. It's
Naturally, the inquiry produces that side effect that people may consider it negative, because whatever is hidden has to surface, because that's the only way that, by the means of inquiry, meaning by merging the mind in its source, these tendencies can get dissolved.
mm, yeah, but it seems like they want to play up even more.
Yes, yes, yes. It's like you're stirring up the pot. It's like you shake the beehive.
Mm,
And all the bees that are inside that you cannot see, they are inside. You can't see them, but they are there.
right.
And you shake it,
Yeah.
and they show up, right?
Yeah, sure.
So the side effect of the inquiry, it is not only the arousal of tendencies. It can produce other side effects. Because remember that body is not only the subtle body, thoughts, and so on. It is also the material aspect of the mind. All this is also the mind, right?
Mm. Uh-huh.
Remember that the awakened state and all what is contained in it, all what happens in it is the mind, is a mental state. Therefore, collectively is the mind.
Right.
Then you can have, suddenly you wake up in the morning and you have energy like, ooh, I can run a marathon, right? And then you go
Right.
and get dressed and wear your running shoes. And when you get to the door, you're exhausted, right? So this swing of energy can take place. Also, swinging moods from one mood to another, extreme,
Mm.
right? Without any apparent reason.
Right.
You go to sleep and then you have more dreams than before. You cannot get deep sleep,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Or you cannot sleep,
Yeah.
or you have more thoughts than before in the waking state. You say, well, what am I doing wrong? What is this all
Yeah.
about? See, I'm going bananas here and I don't get it, right? So this is also
Mm.
byproduct of the inquiry. All depends upon the state of mind of the seekers. Now, when Ramana says the only choice is not to identify oneself with the body, it's not only with this, it's with the mind in its totality,
Mm.
right? Energy, thoughts, body, world, and all that stuff. It's to ignore all that completely. Hmm?
Right.
Because we believe to be the ego, okay, and we look at oneself, we will try to look at oneself as the ego. But when we look at oneself as the ego, we as the ego, or the idea of being the ego, disappear. And we end being aware of ourselves as consciousness.
Right.
I love the analogy of the snake and the rope, right?
Yeah.
It appears to be a snake, in reality, it's a rope. So, because you don't see the rope, you want to see the snake. See, you want to see the reality of the snake, right? It is dark. You want to get rid of the snake. Hmm? It is
Uh,
dark. So you want to switch on the light in case that the snake runs away, because you want to catch it, you want to kill it, you want to get rid of it.
mm.
When you switch on the light and see the snake, there is no snake, there is only a rope.
Mm.
So when you inquire about the nature of the snake, you realize that there is no snake, that there is a rope. That the snake never existed. If the snake never existed, how can you get rid of an entity that it was never there in the first place,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So the snake is the ego.
Mm.
Or the appearance of the snake is the appearance of the ego. What appears to be there is a person. Hmm?
Right.
But what is really there is consciousness. That
Okay.
means that the reality of the snake is a rope, therefore, the reality of the ego is consciousness.
Right.
So I believe to be the ego. From where the thoughts are from me, from where the thoughts are coming from me, because apparently the mind, the thought arises from the mind. Hmm? But the mind is thought, and the mind arises from the self or consciousness.
Mm.
Then from
Yeah.
where the thoughts are coming from? From me. Until then, me is believed to be the body. I am the body, I am the ego, right?
Right.
Okay. I was told to look at the source of the mind, which is thought. Then from where the thoughts are coming from? From me. Good. Me whom? Who am I? Let me look at myself. Okay? What is my reality? What is this nature? What is the nature of what everybody experiences or know as I? And when I look at myself, I find that myself is not the body, means it's not the mind, right? Because the mind is the thought, I am the body, so I am consciousness. That means the thought, I am the body, disappears, right?
Right.
The I thought disappears, but the I consciousness remains.
Mm. Right. Really, it's just that bit of information you have to understand.
This is why Ramana said, look for the ego, and it disappears. What is ego? According to, in this context, right? I am the body, that thought.
Right.
They see the mind, or see from where the mind arises. What is the mind? Thought. What thought? I believe to be that I, right? Until then, I can be even convinced intellectually by the means of logic, even that I am consciousness. If somebody explained to me the three states of mind, right? It becomes obvious that I am the witness, or the witnessing consciousness of the three states of mind, right?
Right. Yeah.
But I don't know it.
It's just an intellectual understanding.
Intellectual, exactly. Then I believe to be the ego. Then I will look at myself. and and this myself, see, will be found to be non-existent. And the existence not of another self, not even the real one, the only one, the one that actually is, right, will get revealed. Because people say small self and big self, right? As if they were two, right?
Right. Yeah.
Or the image in the mirror and myself. There is only one, I. The other one doesn't exist. It's just a reflection, right? It's not
Yeah,
actually there.
sure.
It only appears to be there.
Right,
Appears as there are two, I and the reflection, right?
right.
Mm. Are you happy with that? The answer? I'm saying because there is only another hand, another
Yeah,
somebody.
sure, that's
Yeah,
fine.
and it's only 5 minutes left. So let me see if I can
Mm,
be
yeah, thank you.
as quick as. Okay, cool.
Hi, Peter.
Hi, how are you? Hi, I'm bye. Sorry.
Hi, bye. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, good. Please, Ruber.
Gracias, buenas noches. Ayer cuando hablábamos de ignorar el cuerpo, en ese ponerse en sí mismo, ahorita cuando estaba hablando Terry, que no le entiendo mucho el inglés, pero sí sentí mucha mm, tranquilidad. Es raro porque es un idioma que no conozco, pero como que lo estaba sintiendo, estaba escuchando hasta mi corazón latiendo. ¿Debo ignorar hasta ese corazón que está latiendo?
Es el corazón físico.
Sí, el corazón físico. O sea,
Sí, aquí está el corazón y aquí estoy yo. Aquí está el fenómeno y aquí estoy yo. Sí, yo soy consciente del fenómeno. La idea es llevar la atención a ese yo que es consciente.
Sí.
Eso es lo único que permite darme cuenta de que ese yo es conciencia, de que yo soy conciencia.
Ver el fenómeno latido.
¿Mm?
Ver solamente el fenómeno latido, ¿no?
No, ver al que ve. Aun cuando percibas o seas consciente de algo más, llámese cuerpo, pensamientos, sentimientos, emociones, sensaciones físicas. ¿Quién las experimenta? Yo. Entonces, aún y cuando sea consciente de todo eso, déjame hacerme consciente del que es consciente, de mí mismo.
No hay lugar físico donde esté ese mí mismo, ¿no?
¿Perdón?
No existe un lugar físico donde esté ese mí mismo, sino simplemente ese mí mismo.
¿Cómo podrías ubicar a la conciencia absoluta que es infinita, que es inmensidad, en un lugar en el cuerpo? ¿Cómo,
Sí,
pod- cómo podrías meterla allí? ¿Sí? A la infinitud de la conciencia, colocarla. Algunos dicen, bueno, que aquí, otros dicen que entre las cejas. A ver, ¿cómo pones a la conciencia absoluta que es infinita? Ahí está. Al con-
ay,
si al caso vamos, ¿ok? Todo existe en esa conciencia absoluta.
es como que está por todos lados, ¿no?
Es todo, en realidad es todo.
Sí. Gracias, César.
Una orden.
Sí.
Ok, 10 de la noche. Nos vemos entonces mañana. Mm.